Should I relax or should I lock in?
Playing middle as a college athlete, I would say, like, the roar of the audience, the best feeling ever.
My faith is everything. It makes me who I am.
I really wish that you could talk smack on the golf course. Like, that'd make it so much more fun.
I had some, like, decision paralysis. Should I sleep or should I do the schoolwork?
There's momentum goes both ways, right? So if you start winning a lot, that momentum is positive. If you start losing a lot, you get that losing momentum. And we just got to find a way to overcome that.
Let's be great today, Lions.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back to the Live Tap Podcast. I'm your host, Damyon Traylor, also known as D-Tray. And I'm here with your guest.
Damyon Traylor, man. What's going on?
We're switching it up today. So I'm hosting the Live Tap Podcast. I'm so happy to be here. Damyon, how are you doing today?
I'm good, gang. What's your name?
Oh, I'm Erin Donovan. Been on the pod before, but I've decided to interview Damyon. I think that his viewers should really get a good sense of who he is. So this is a special episode. Are you excited?
I'm really excited. I want to say thank you to start off before we start, for taking time out your day to even want to interview me. So, appreciate you, gang, for sure.
Of course. I have to give the listeners what they want. Are you nervous?
Nah, I'm not nervous. I'm not camera shy, for real.
I think he's a little nervous. He's nervous about my questions.
Well, your questions, I'm not going to lie, you might catch me by surprise, but that's probably it, for real. But,
okay, well, let's get right into it.
So
first, I need you to tell me your name, your year, your major, and where you're from.
Okay, so my name is Damyon Traylor. The year of graduation?
Like you're a sophomore?
Oh, I'm a sophomore here at Piedmont. I graduated in 2027, and I'm from Marietta, Georgia.
Very nice, very nice. So, first, I want you to explain some of your nicknames. I know you go by D-Tray.
Yeah, so, you want the origin story of that?
Sure.
All right, so back in middle school, I had, a couple friends or whatever, and we were just, making up names or stuff like that, just in the back of class, just clowning around or whatever. And, one of my friends was like, why don't you just be, instead of, because at first they used to call me Dame Tray, Damtray. But I was like, I don't really got a ring to it. One of my friends, Savion, back in middle school, he was like, yo, D-Tray tough. D and then Tray from your last name Trailer. And I just, my handle since middle school. So that's pretty much where my D-Tray come from. And everybody on camp called me that, so.
I have a funny story about Damyon because when he first, when we first followed each other on Instagram, so his username is D-Tray. But then his name, what was it?
Kaizen?
Yeah. So I was like, what is this guy's name? What is he actually?
Yeah.
But what does Kaizen mean?
Kaizen is more it's like a peace of mind type of thing. I want to say it was when I seen it on TikTok, it meant something like peace of mind in Chinese or something like that. It was definitely another language for sure, but it definitely meant peace of mind, and that's what I kind of all about, just being at peace, being at peace with yourself,
Yeah.
Basically.
But he was really difficult to find on social media because he didn't have his actual name anywhere in it.
Yeah.
So
but I changed it, though.
I
changed it for sure.
So why did you choose Piedmont?
I chose Piedmont because, when I first got on campus, I took a visit here through, in the middle of my high school senior year, and I just loved the campus. I fell in love with the campus, honestly. I met some people here, and, it felt like home when I walked on campus. And, once I got back in the car with my mom, and she asked me, what my thoughts were about the school, I was like, I think this might be the school for me. Because, honestly, I was either going to go to Kennesaw State, that's right by Marietta, of course, Shorter, that's in Rome, Piedmont, of course, and then there was another school, University of West Georgia, because I got friends that go there, too. So, it was going to be one of those schools. I didn't want to go out of state, but I didn't want to be too close to home, and Piedmont is not.
Yeah, you picked the furthest from home out of all of this.
Yeah, Piedmont is about a nice 2 hours, depending on traffic, though, because the way I got to go home in order to get back to Marietta, I got to go through Atlanta. So, depending on traffic or not, it might be 3 hours, but, yeah, I didn't want to go out of state. I wanted to be somewhere close to home.
You also picked, the smallest of all of those options, too. Was there, a reason behind that?
I don't even really know, honestly. Piedmont just felt like the best fit. I felt like when I got here, especially when I first got here on, my freshman year, I already knew people because like I met them at summer orientation, and when I took my visit here in, I want to say March of my senior year. So like it just felt like home.
Yeah, that's kind of I feel it's very much like a gut feeling when you're making that decision. So.
Yeah.
And moving on, kind of in that same realm, but how did you choose your major? Like, did you visit the Swanson Center, or like did you just kind of know that sports and communication is kind of what you wanted to do?
So I've always, cause like I played basketball throughout like my whole lifetime, so I always knew like whenever I stopped playing basketball, I wanted to still be around the game, and whether that was being a sports agent or being a commentator or being like a sideline reporter, I've always wanted to be around the game. So I kind of knew that I was going to pick a major somewhere revolving around sports. I just didn't know what. But basically, they didn't have sports communications. They told me they just had communications. But luckily, Joe, who, is our advisor, he kind of made somewhat of a major for me that fit me. And, I've been, just cool and just thankful for him, honestly, that he made that major for me, because if it wasn't for Joe, I don't think I would be here.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised they told you that, because sports comm is a major at Piedmont. Like, that is a solidified major. So
when I took my visit, they told me. Well, let me get this straight. I think when I took my visit, they were just starting to create it. I don't think it was an actual thing. They just told me they had communications.
Interesting. I feel like they're a little. Never mind. So speaking of Joe, obviously you're taking a lot of communications class. It's not all sports based.
Yeah.
I'm on the same curriculum as you, so I know the pod got started during Joe's class, but what made you want to carry it out into like such a large production? Because this really has turned into something crazy. I mean, I've like seen your calendar, and you're hosting shows 3 times a week. So like, what made you really want to do that? Because that's a lot.
I got a lot of friends who are athletes on this campus, and I have a lot of friends back home who are athletes. And, I talk to them and stuff, and I get a lot of input. And, sometimes, like, I get, like, stories and stuff that athletes don't tell other people that they might tell their friends. So, like, because of that, like, I was just like, I think I might want to start a podcast. The thing is, though, I just didn't have the confidence, and I didn't know where I would be able to start it at. Because I wanted to start the podcast coming into my sophomore year,
You
like
didn't
over
have
the
the
summer.
confidence?
I didn't have the confidence,
That's
honestly.
crazy.
I was like, man, I don't know if I do start the pod, like, I don't know how it would go. Like, I don't know, like, I didn't know how to podcast like that. But I fell in love with podcasts, like, during COVID, because I couldn't go anywhere. All I had to do was watch sports podcasts. Like, I was watching all the Smoke 'em Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. I was watching Knuckleheads with Quentin Richardson and them. I was watching the Pivot podcast. Like, I was watching all types of sports podcasts, and that's what made me want to get into podcasting. But specifically, my podcast, I want to do my podcast because, for one, Joe pushed me to do it because I bought the idea to him in, like, August, September. And then my friends also told me to do it because, like they was like, why not? They would come on and share their stories and stuff. And, I've had a lot of athletes come on the pod and just, share their story about their sport and, the mental side and stuff like that, which is all important to me, so.
Yeah. Were you expecting it to turn into this big of an ordeal? It's huge.
For real? You think so?
I mean, so yesterday we had a recruit for the women's golf team, and she's from Colorado, so like 25 hours away.
Yeah. And
she comes in saying like, oh, I heard me and one of my teammates on a podcast, and she's like, the Piedmont podcast. So this girl from Colorado has like found Damyon's podcast, and she's 16 years old in Colorado listening to Damyon every week, and she thought he was like a celebrity. Like when I told her that he was my neighbor, she was like, what? Like for real? So you really are like kind of a big deal.
No, man, that's cool for sure, man. Stuff like that really keeps me going because, I mean, honestly, like when I see people, put their inputs and stuff on my pod, it's really all love and it's all good. So stuff like that really keeps me going. Like, for example, the other day when I posted Kiki and Jalen's, Kiki's mom, Miss Ashley, she was like, I'm a great interviewer, and she loved the questions I asked, and stuff like that just keeps me going and keeps me motivated to, want to keep doing this podcast and, hopefully keep growing it.
Yeah, I mean, it clearly is a testament to your skill on the pod because everyone wants to be on it. I mean, like, everyone.
Yeah, bro. I really enjoy having athletes and stuff, man. Yeah. I feel like an important thing is, athletes, they want to share their stories. And another reason I also want to start this podcast because I realize nobody on campus has a podcast specifically for athletes or nobody. Well, I won't say that. It was, Jared. He did have a podcast, but like it wasn't for like a specific part of people. It was just anybody.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to, be able to have a specific target of people, and just start a pod for athletes. So that's what I did, and just keep going.
Has there been a favorite guest so far, or like a coolest experience so far?
I really haven't had a favorite guest. I feel like all the guests I've just been grateful to have on, just because like they don't have to do it, they don't have to come on, but they want to. So I respect that, and I'm very appreciative. I'd say the coolest moment I had though was probably interviewing Coach Justin Scally, the baseball coach for Piedmont, because like I feel like that's why I really kind of clicked in my head, like, okay, yeah, I think I really got this thing down pat for sure. Like, I didn't even interview him in a podcast studio. We were going to do it on the field, but it was so cold that day, and it just snowed the week before. I think it was like 17 degrees outside. So we were like, we're just going to move it into the baseball team room. And it was a success, and everybody that listened to it, they loved it. And, people basically, I guess you could say the pod blew up right there, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
well, you get like the coaching staff involved in listening, and like people outside of just the student life. So
yeah, man, it was really cool.
Do you have a goal for your podcast?
Goal? I mean, honestly, I just want to be able to the goal isn't really for myself, it's really for athletes. I want people to be able to come on my pod and be able to tell their stories and be authentic and like really, let the viewers know who they are, not just as an athlete, but as a person as well, because I feel like that's important. People, I think, look at athletes and just think they're not actual people, but athletes are actual people, and that's what some people get misconstrued. They think because like you're an athlete, you don't like, you're like a robot. You're supposed to be like be organized at all times, but that's not the case. Athletes are humans as well, so that's basically that for sure.
Oh, I think that's really cool. Kind of going on with those goals, do you have career goals? Like, does this fall in line with that, or like what are your aspirations, and do they still fall in the sports comm field?
Yeah, so I do have career goals. My career goal, honestly, is to be a sports broadcaster / analyst. Even bedazzle on like sports, like sideline reporting as well. I do that for Piedmont University here. I work on the game day operations under the great the great Danielle Percival. Shout out Danielle. But yeah, I broadcast for the school, specifically basketball games, women's and men's. But I do want to venture off in other sports like baseball and,
You want to dabble in lacrosse, like the hardest sport to broadcast?
Yeah, some of my friends in lacrosse have been telling me, am I going to start? I'm going to try though for sure. But honestly, I just, that's my overall career. And then podcasting wise, I still want to like continue my podcast even after I graduate Piedmont. Because like I have a lot of athletes and connections back home, so I know I can continue to pod. And honestly, I got a lot of equipment, that I can just carry on the road with me. So honestly, I'm probably gonna be on the go during the summer with the pod for sure.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So you really enjoy interviewing athletes, watching sports. He really enjoys playing sports video games. For anyone wondering, he's very loud, causes lots of commotion. What got you into sports?
My parents, my dad, my uncle for sure. So my dad, he used to hoop. Oh, he played football at first. I think he was gonna go D1, but I think did something to his shoulder, like tore his rotator cuff or something like that. And then my uncle, he was a hooper as well. I grew up in a very like competitive sports family, basketball and football specifically. But my parents for sure, like my dad, he put a basketball in my hands when I was like 2 years old, and I just fell in love with the game ever since then. And then my uncle, he will always come over, or like we'll go over there, and we'll just be like watching basketball. My favorite player growing up was Kobe Bryant. Every Sunday, every weekend, they probably play on like ABC or something like that, and we just all sit in the living room and just watch ball. So that's where I fell in love with the sport, honestly, or the game, honestly, just sports in general. And I've been trying to venture off on other sports with baseball and tennis and soccer and golf even, with friends like y'all. So yeah.
I feel like families do play a really big role in like what sports mean to us. Like, I grew up in a very similar family. My uncle played for the Phillies. My cousins played like college golf. My other uncles played college baseball. So that does definitely like really shape a child, I feel like. So what's your background in sports? Like, what sports did you play? If you guys want, I found his huddle so you can see. He has no highlights. Just one photo of him.
So boom. So when I grew up, you know, I want to say like 5 through 7, 8, I played like flag football, but my mom, she took me out of it. I wanted to play like real football, but she was scared I was gonna get like a concussion or whatever. So she said no to that. Never wanted to do baseball. I played baseball with my cousins one time, and I got hit by the baseball like on my shoulder, and like I had like a big mark, like a big purple mark, and I was like, nah. I know the ball was that hard. It was crazy. And then basketball, that's kind of where I fit in. So I always hooped with my friends, I always hooped with my cousins or whatever. And I basically hooped from 5 to 17. So yeah, that's basically it. Honestly, if I wasn't doing school ball, I was doing like AAU summer ball. If you know what that is.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I played under Tony Delk, who is a former Kentucky basketball guard and NBA player. I played on his AAU team for a couple years, and then I also played for another team called Georgia Shock as well. So yeah.
And what caused you to like be done?
Injuries. Honestly, I messed my ankle up like really bad, and like it was actually ramping up for my senior year. I was in a workout with my trainer, Lewis Clinch. Shout out Coach Lou, man. But I was in a workout with my trainer, and I had went up for a layup, and I came down on somebody's foot, and my ankle completely turned. Like my ankle hit the ground, like the bone part hit the ground. So I didn't feel the pain at first, and then I looked at my dad, and I seen his reaction. I thought my foot was gone. Like I thought I was done, bro. But nah, it didn't even turn. Like it was still like intact, but my ankle swelled up like so fast. So it took like so long to get back to recovery. I had torn ligaments and stuff like that. And honestly, I just haven't I wasn't able to move like how I wanted to anymore. So on the ankle, so I just it's time to hang it up.
Those are the worst injuries, the ones that aren't in like a real like game winning situation or anything.
Yeah. Plus, I was already kind of focusing on like what I want to do after basketball. So in sports was
one foot out the door already.
Yeah, low key. Low key.
So has there been any moment at Piedmont that you didn't think it was the right fit for you? Like, have there been any, second thoughts?
No, honestly, I've I've been loving Piedmont since I got here. Honestly, it's not been a moment in time where I thought like, dang, Piedmont not the school for me. Like, I don't know why or how, but I just feel like it's been a perfect fit in every aspect. Like lifestyle wise, I'm not a person to be much of a partier like that, or like I'm not a person to really need city life. I'm not really much of a city type of guy. Demarest is a very quiet town. We're in the mountains. We get a lot of rain, get a lot of coldness. But yeah, I mean, I just really chill with my friends and stuff like that, honestly. But Piedmont has been amazing to me, honestly. I'm grateful to be here.
I feel like that's not a normal answer. I feel like typically people go through like a lot of trials and tribulations before they learn to love it.
No, I haven't. I'm grateful, man, honestly. For real.
Good for you. So with 60% of the students at Piedmont being athletes, how have you made your presence so large on this campus, being the Piedmont celebrity, without that athlete status?
Just networking, honestly. I did sell my freshman year. I was a Voyager, and then my sophomore year I was a Navigator. So just networking like that and just talking to people, honestly. Just, when I see people and they see me, I'm usually knowing people who know people, and then I meet them through them, and then like we just like become cool and become friends even. So that's kind of how I kind of built my reputation up here. And I wouldn't say I'm a celebrity, but
Mr. Piedmont over here.
Nah, that's Silas. That's Silas, gang. I wouldn't say I'm a celebrity, but I just kind of built my connections through like people I already knew.
Yeah.
Like for example, like my friend Arturo, like he's on the basketball team. So that's kind of how I got to know the basketball players even more, like B Wise or Javi.
Yeah.
or Fisher like that, people like that. So that's basically what it is, honestly.
Yeah. You talk about sale a lot on your podcast. What has like that experience meant to you, and would you recommend it?
Oh, for sure. 100% I recommend it. For anybody out there who is a freshman who, is scared to come into college, man, Sale is definitely the place for you because, me coming into college, I didn't know what I was going to come into. I was kind of nervous. I was like, what if college isn't for me, this, that, and the third. But once I did Sale and I met people who were really nice and, really caring, I was like, yeah, this is really definitely the place for me. And then as a navigator, me being able to give Voyagers, kids coming into college, that experience of, what college is and be able to be a leader and take SAIL is basically a leadership program as a navigator. And, that I really appreciate because I never really had leadership skills until I started doing SAIL and really started wanting to make or have kids have a good experience, coming into college. So, yeah.
I think sale's a great opportunity because when you first get to school, I didn't do sale, and I kind of regret it. But when you first get to school, there's so much stress in that first week of I have these classes. You're not even thinking about making friends. Like, that's at the back of your brain, but you're obviously worried about it. I have to make friends. And sale definitely gives you that, perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
And especially with, I think, the fact that there are so many athletes on campus, athletes are kind of just integrated into that family, into those friend groups immediately. And so for you, that gave you such a great opportunity to really, jump in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing is, too, for example, my first week on campus, coming back from the SAIL retreat, I knew a couple people, and I was like, hey, how you been? You good? We all chilling and stuff. We go out to the cafe and eat, and we go to classes. I got a couple classes with them, so even upperclassmen, Draylon and them, it was just cool. So, I really appreciate. Oh yeah, shout out Silas, man, for sure. That was my navigator my freshman year, and he really helped me, delegate through college and stuff. So I want to say shout out to you too, big bro, for sure.
Do you think that the athlete kind of sphere is a social killer on campus? Do you know what I mean by that?
What you mean?
So, say people want to go hang out. I feel like athletes really just hang out together. That's a really big thing. And I'm not trying to, narp you or anything here. But, do you think that kind of kills everyone being super social? Or do you think that it's been really easy for you to just kind of insert yourself in there?
Honestly, I haven't had any issues with, hanging with athletes. Everybody brings me in because they know me somewhere, somehow, from somebody that they know. So I never really had an issue where they were oh no, you can't hang with us or nothing like that. It's always been cool. Plus I'm a really chill person for real. If you really get to know me, everybody know I'm fun, laugh. I'm always joking around, just trying to enlighten people's day or whatever. So, and people here actually vibe with that. So, they bring me in with open arms and they just treat me like the bros for real.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I want you to explain. You have a saying.
Oh Lord.
You have a saying. I have an acronym and I'm not going to use it, but I want you to explain where "Let's Be Great Today" came from.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you wanna tag your new movement in this, you're more than welcome to.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so "Let's Be Great Today" came from. I honestly I woke up one morning during the retreat, and I was like, well, let me give you a backstory to it. So during our SAIL retreat this past year, my sophomore year as a navigator, there's a lot of people, not throwing no shade or whatever, but it was a lot of people nervous, kind of missing their families, sad. I wouldn't say depressed, but it was definitely, you could definitely feel the energy, and it was definitely down. So as somebody who was a navigator, I was just trying to enlighten people, especially in my cabin and stuff, because one of the people in my cabin, he lost a family member while he was at the retreat, and I just wanted to bring some type of sunshine to people's day and just be let's be great today, let's carry ourselves with excellence, and let's just be positive, honestly. And I just been saying that, and everybody, it's actually funny you said that, because people my friends, they be going around and be yo, let's be great today. I'd be like, yeah, for sure, bro. Like, let's be great today. But like, I don't know if they be trolling or not. But it'd be funny though. Like, people actually walk up to me and be like, yo, let's be great today. I'd be like, for sure, let's be great today. You
It's
know?
a good motivator.
Yeah, I be trying, man. You know, I feel like honestly, like, it's this world is already like bad enough. I just try to bring positivity to it. Honestly, at the end of the day, man, that's all.
I mean, I think it works because every time I see you, I just think of you saying, "Let's be great today."
Yeah,
so
bro, for sure.
It's a good reminder. You don't want to talk about your new movement.
The dumb one. So yeah, man, me and my friends, we created a new movement called it's called the Dumb Way. So basically, we carry everything with excellence, with precise accuracy to the best of our abilities. So that's what the Dumb Way is, man. Anything we do, I even been having some athletes, you know, they on the field, court, course, whatever, you know, they do anything good, they score a bucket, they get a goal, they do anything, we say in the Dumb Way. And
It's
we
kind of an oxymoron.
we carrying that movement throughout next year too, man. Especially for sure. When you get a little hit the ball in the hole thingy type. Well, I don't know what you call it. The Dumb Way.
Okay.
For sure.
I'll make sure to say that.
Yeah, yo, nah, I'm not even gonna say her name, but it's one girl on the basketball team. She was like asking me for pointers or whatever, like what to say, like hype her up after she scored. I was like, I don't know, gang, just be like type shit or something like that. And then she was like, all right, bet. And she literally scored, and she yelled on the girl face like type shit. I was like, yeah, for sure. That's what we talking about right there.
So inspirational.
I try.
What is a value you live by every day? Speaking of inspiration.
Value I live by. It's not really a value. I just really try to be positive, honestly, man. Just take every day, be 1% better every day, honestly. That's probably the value, honestly. Just try to be 1% better every day. I feel like I'm not perfect. Nobody in this world is perfect. And, you know, you can always get better and improve at something, whether that's on the course, in the classroom, with your friends, you know, even learning how to be able to speak or something like that, or, you know, anything. Just trying to be better at anything I can be at. So that's probably my, you know, purpose or whatever in life, is just to be better and get better. And just, it's really a me versus me type of thing. I don't really look at, you know, competition as in me and somebody else. Like, it's just really me versus me, and I just try to be better than the person I was yesterday.
Yeah. I think we're here on this earth to change and grow, and if we're not doing that, then there's not really a point, right?
Yeah, facts, for sure.
So now we're gonna get into some burner questions.
Okay.
I'm trying not to copy Damyon's, so
You
we have
good, gang. It happens.
some of these are a little more serious than yours. But
Okay.
not this one though.
Okay.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Dang, I don't know. You want the white people version or the black people version?
Both. I don't know.
Type. Okay, so white people version we're gonna probably go with Ain't It Fun? I don't know. I forgot who it's by.
Paramore?
Yeah.
Good
That one, or Chasing by Morgan Wallen. People don't know, but like I really vibe with country. So Morgan Wallen's one of my top artists. Him, Bailey Zimmerman, and probably like Riley Green or something like that. But them two for sure. Black person, people, Freestyle by Lil Baby, and then we got First Day Out by T Grizzly for sure.
Oh, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Cut that.
Oh my god. Oh my god. No, that's not getting cut. That is not getting cut. She said boom 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 is crazy. That's how you getting down, gang? Oh my god. No,
I'm
that's
not gonna recover from that.
that's crazy. Typical Erin. No, that's
Okay,
typical.
so my next question, I need this now. Do you believe in second chances?
Do I believe in second chances?
Yeah, like in general.
What you mean, like you mean like overall, or like relationship, like with a girl?
Anything.
It really depends on the circumstance, honestly, bro. But usually me, I am kind of a guy to do second chances. I don't know, that's a hard one, bro, honestly. But I'll probably say, depending on the circumstance, I'll probably say, yeah, I'll probably do a second chance, honestly. It just depends how bad it is and, like, what did you do? Like, if you if you messed up on a broadcast or whatever, and like I'm your broadcast partner, then yeah, of course you're gonna make mistakes. It happens. You're not perfect. Like I said, you're human. But if it's like something crazy, then nah, you might not be able to come back from that game. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. So, if
I already know it's so wild.
if you were stranded on an island, what are 3 things you would have with you?
Oh, bet. Okay. I've been thinking about this. I usually ask people this, but I've been thinking about it lately. For sure, I gotta have an H2O. Gotta have the water with me. Gotta have the water. I've been thinking about like food wise. You can't really cook on the island because there's nothing to really cook with. I'll probably Cheez-Its. Toasted Cheez-Its for sure.
You're gonna need it. You're gonna need the water.
Yeah. It's gonna be for sure. And then like something like I forgot what it was. Jocelyn I interviewed, and she talked about like a stick that you like break and like it lights up or whatever. Just like when it gets
like
dark.
A flare?
Yeah, like a flare or something like that. Yeah. Like it gets dark and like you just break it and it like lights. Yeah, I'm gonna need that too for sure.
Are you afraid of the dark?
No, not really. I just need to be able to like navigate around and stuff like that. Okay. Like
with your Cheez-Its and your water.
Yeah. Like when it's gonna be dark on the island and there's not gonna be no light, so you're gonna need something to like watch, like light and walk around with.
Do you plan on surviving on this island, or you just?
I'm a heavy believer in God, so I'm the type of guy to think like, I'm probably gonna get saved one day eventually if I just keep praying and just keep leaving it up to God. So, yeah, type.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What is one thing you wish more people knew about you?
What is one thing I wish? I'm a nonchalant dreadhead. One thing. My bad. I don't really know, honestly, bro. Like, I think sometimes people kind of think like I might be not loud per se, but like, I don't really know how to explain it.
I think you're loud.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be like that sometimes. I just try to bring positivity to everybody's life, man, honestly. Try to make people laugh. That's all. That's all. There's nothing really one thing particular I want people to, like, know me about, for sure. Honestly.
Okay.
There's nothing particular. I was wondering what you was doing on your phone. Oh my god. Yo, you gotta be stopped, gang. This is getting crazy. She played the Braun part. Is that where you get that from?
No, I actually know that song.
Oh, for real? Like word for word?
Not every word,
I'm
but
about to say, you put you to the test for real.
some parts.
Type. Also, everybody, if y'all don't know, like, Erin, she's a very interesting individual. Like, as a neighbor of hers, she be doing some interesting things. Like, for example, she showed me a TikTok one time where, like,
Oh, I don't know if I want you.
Huh?
You don't have to say that.
Understandable. Never mind, just scratch that. What's the next question?
What is your Roman Empire? Do you know what that is? This is a Sarah Fox question.
A Sarah Fox. Shout out Sarah.
So, like, Sarah Fox, do you know what a Roman Empire is? Something that, like, you think about often. So Sarah's Roman Empire is the Holocaust.
She thinks about the Holocaust often?
Apparently, I've never talked about it, like, once.
My Roman Empire. It's probably me wanting to be great, honestly, man. Like, my career. Like how I'm gonna do in the future, like career wise. That's probably like what I think about, honestly. Like I just like if somebody like gave me like a genie and I had like 3 wishes, one of my wishes would definitely be like how my like path would unfold down the line, like as a broadcaster, sports analyst, or whatever.
Like you want to know, or you want to like you want to solidify it?
I want to know and solidify it for sure. Like, how good am I? Who I work for, how successful am I at this, stuff like that. I'll probably say that's my Roman Empire.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I have. I'm sorry if I embarrassed myself.
Nah, that was funny.
No.
That was funny. She said, "Ba-ba-ba." Hey, no, okay, you funny for sure, bro. You know, I appreciate you though, man. You know, one thing I've always wanted to do before we end, like, I've always wanted to, you know, share, like I said, athlete stories, and you know, I even kind of want to grow Piedmont athletics. So, you know, lately what I've been doing, behind the scenes is I've been talking with Danielle and Joseph, and we've been kind of doing like interviews. For example, I did the 94 feet thing. Me and Grant did. You know, shout out Grant too. And, you know, we've been, you know, trying to just grow Piedmont sports because I realized, you know, especially after last year and talking with some friends who play sports, you know, some sports do get more recognition and love and support than others. And I kind of want to make sure, like, every sport here is shared, you know, loved-wise equally. So, you know, I'm going to do a interview with the baseball team next week, and Grant's doing softball, and we're eventually going to get to the golf girls and golf guys, and, you know, lacrosse and men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse, and all types of sports here. So even cycling. So we just want to, you know, be able to spread that awareness that, you know, all Piedmont sports are equal. So, yeah. And I also want to say thank you to all the athletes that have came on, athletes and coaches and ADs eventually, that have came on and will continue to come on in the future. You know, I want to, you know, say thank y'all because nobody really had to come on the pod. And, you know, it really means a lot to me that, that, you know, everybody's taking time out their day and their busy schedules as an athlete to come on the pod and, you know, talk about their story and stuff like that. So I want to tell everybody there thank you that has came on, and thank you to the viewers that have been watching and listening. You know, I do this for y'all, not just for myself or the athletes. I do this for everybody. So, you know, I want to say thank you. You know, let's be great today for sure.
Yeah. Let's be great today.
Yes, sir.